super appreciate that.
It's just to talk about yourself. It should be fun. You know, if you want to make up something about how you were in a circus performer, that'd be fine.
Oh
too.
God, please make up a story.
See,
Like, just make up one story and see if we can figure out which is false.
see,
Yeah, I was a circus performer. My family died in an accident. A billionaire adopted me.
well
I
done.
love you so much right now.
You guys are already my favorite people. Okay,
Yay!
here we go. We're gonna do this in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Creator Crush, the show where we like to talk to creative people who do amazing things and dig into their brains about why they love it, what got them into it, and all that stuff. You're joined with your host, Steven Smash, and the creators of Tanzia, Jason Jacobitz and Matias Kindermann. Thank you guys so much for joining us. These guys are the creators of Tanzia, an old-style RPG made with modern tech, set in a unique world. Tanzia combines elements of favorite classic action-adventure RPGs in an open 3D world full of magic and giant freaking bees. It's available today on Steam and Nintendo Switch. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
I may have added the bees part.
I was about to say, I didn't write that.
I may have added that. You're
So Jason and Matias, I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves to some degree so we can get used to hearing your wonderful voices and knowing who's who, and tell us a little bit about who you are, what you're doing. Start with Jason. I'll call it Jason first.
I created Tanzia, and I do most of the programming. I do most of the design, and I wrote the story.
Wow, that's awesome.
Nice. And Matias.
Hey guys, I'm Matias. I do PR mostly. I also help with a little bit of design and production, and also testing. A lot of testing.
That's
and
awesome.
you have an awesome accent.
Thank you.
I feel like that's the point.
Yeah, I feel like you definitely get points for that on this show. Sorry, Jason. But no,
Give it a few minutes.
all right, I'll let it work in. So you guys are the two. Are you guys the two sole developers behind Tanzia? Because everywhere I look, it seems like it's just you two guys building this amazing game.
Well, we collaborated with some other folks, but we're the only two who are full time. Yeah, so we we have just recently we worked with an animator to redo some of the monster animations because neither one of us is an animator. But yeah, mostly it's just the two of us.
That blows my mind.
Yeah, that's outstanding.
Anytime I see these games that are being made by like really small teams, some just like one person behind these huge hits, it's incredible to me because it takes so many different brains, to get a game off the ground. What kind of challenges do you guys face just being the two of you? Is there time constraints, or is it just are you just plowing through it, trying to make it up as you go?
Well, I think the biggest challenge actually has been the negatives of what you're talking about, is just that these days, one or two guys can make a big game. And I think Unity had a lot to do with that. And then, Unity came along, and then the Unreal Engine kind of just copied Unity, right? They're like, oh, shoot, they're eating our lunch. So between the two of those engines now, they've lowered the bar so much. The barrier to entry is so much lower. So our biggest challenge has been... hey, Tanzia, everybody, look at us, over here. There's just there's so much competition, and it makes it tough. The biggest challenge has been marketing and getting the game out there.
Yeah, trying to get the word out. That's really hard.
Do you have to wear costumes for that, or?
Almost.
Maybe that's our next Dragon Con Smash. We dress as characters from Tanzia.
Be like the little
With the
loincloth.
loincloth, yeah.
Okay, maybe not. Maybe I'll switch gears. That's a pretty intense.
It's like a Speedo with some feathers on the side. You good?
Right on. So, is this the first game either of you guys made, or have you worked your way up like through other companies doing work for other people?
Well, we've both worked in games a bit in the past. So actually, my whole career has been in games. Matias has been in. He was in tech of some kind before, and then he got into indie games before Tanzia. So I think Tanzia is actually his second indie game.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. Matias should talk, but he's quiet over there.
Yeah, I did my. If Tanzia is indie, my games are like the lowest form of indie games. It's like Pixelmon was like the first game I made with a partner. It's like the smallest game in comparison with Tanzia. It's like a pixel art game, like an arcade game. Nothing to do with this. This game is huge compared to that.
I wouldn't sell yourself short though. Pixel art games are huge right now. I mean, even the simple ones can take off.
Well, not mine.
Hey, well, you got try number 2 with Tanzia, so that's working out for you. So I think one of the things we like to do on Creator Crush is really find out, what drove you into this industry in the first place and really bred your desire to make games. And just starting with Jason, like how far back does your desire to make games go?
I don't know. I mean, I guess, I in hindsight, like I think when I was a kid, it should have been obvious, but I didn't really get into it until I was in college. My senior year of college, I was an accounting major.
Oh my God.
I really hated it. I really, really. There was a point actually. I remember there was a specific turning point where there was some jobs fair coming up, and some of the top accounting firms were going to be there recruiting, like interns. And two of the girls in one of my accounting classes, they were talking about it, and they were just giddy. And it was like, it's accounting. Like, nobody does this on purpose. What are you guys excited about? And they were so excited. They're like, oh my God, this is it. We made it. And I'm like, it was our senior year. So, I mean, I had a little over a semester to get to my degree. And these girls were talking about it. They were so excited. And I'm like, you know what? I'm dropping out tomorrow.
Oh my God.
And I did. And then I started working on a game with a friend of mine. And I never went back to accounting. I literally had a little over a semester. And I just thought, you know what? I am never going to want to use this degree. I don't care about it. I just want to leave right now. So I from there, I started working on a game with a friend of mine. It's called Arcanity. And I had been programming since I was 10 on the Commodore 64 with the same friend, actually. We used to do it for fun. Summer breaks, we would program on the Commodore 64. I think you'll find a lot of programmers did that. And so, I mean, like I said, I should have known, when I was a kid what I wanted to do. But for some reason, it didn't click until that one fateful day in that accounting class.
It took accounting.
Yeah, that's what it took. You had to do the wrong thing to figure out what the right thing was.
To do. Yeah, exactly. So from there, the game that we worked on, it never made it, but I used what we did as a resume, basically, and it got me into Activision. My first
nice.
Was at a studio called Treyarch with Activision, and from there I went to a place called Sigil. I worked on Vanguard, Saga of Heroes, and then I went to Sony. I worked on EverQuest for several years, and then I went to a little company called In Exile, and I ended up I was the lead software engineer on Wasteland 2. I don't know if you guys saw Wasteland 2. It was a little indie company, but they broke some Kickstarter records. They raised like almost $3 million for Wasteland 2 on Kickstarter. And this was when Kickstarter was just kind of getting started, I guess. It made national news when they raised that amount of money. And after Wasteland, I worked on another game there called Torment, and I had that accounting feeling, and I left. Torment wasn't as much fun for me as Wasteland was, so I took off. I started on Tanzia, and I found Matias pretty soon after that. So.
That's amazing. So it's not just the accounting; it's just the boredom. Like as soon as you approach the boredom or lack of passion for the project,
those are synonymous, accounting and boredom.
Yeah, it was the same thing when he said that.
Like what? That makes sense. It's funny. Some of your story reflects my own about not going into something like I should do this and then being like, why am I doing this? I've had a hobby for 15 years that I could make a career of.
Yeah.
What's wrong with me? Yeah. No.
I love doing this, that, and the other thing, and I'm gonna go do something totally unrelated to any of those.
Right, because it's the safe job or whatever. Maybe we just don't see it as a potential outlet. Like I like doing this, therefore it's not a job. What am I doing? That's so cool.
How did you decide that you were going to go into accounting out of curiosity?
Oh, that was almost a coin toss. I mean, the university sent me a letter. I think I was 3 years there, and the university sent me a letter and said, "Please pick a major. You've been here for 3 years." And they started playing the Oscars wrap it up music, basically, wrap it up, Jacobitz. And so I'm like, oh well, shoot, this sucks. Yeah, I guess it's already been 3 years. I guess I'm supposed to pick something. And I was just looking at, I'm like, I don't know what the heck I want to do. And where can I make money? Where, I was looking for something that, like you said, like stable, right? Like what's a stable? And I thought, like, I narrowed it down to like, this is going to sound nuts, but I had it narrowed down to like forensics and accounting.
Oh my God, you chose so poorly.
Yeah. Like, well, whatever, accounting, I guess. So, I mean, again, hindsight, I mean, I should have known that wasn't going to work, right? Just like based on this isn't going to stick.
That's
Numbers are dead people.
That's something like that. I know Ashley has a definite hatred for numbers of all kinds.
Yeah.
Small ones, big ones, anything in between. They're just bad.
Anything with a comma, it hurts.
So Matias, where does your story start, man? Where do you come from?
Well, I'm from Argentina originally, and I used to love games when I was a kid. I used to play the Atari 2600. I used to play Pitfall all the time, and that got me into it. I was designing levels on paper all the time,
wow.
And I would have like binders full of levels for Pitfall. And I don't know, I never got into making games because I didn't know you could do it. It was like magic to me. and then one day when Game Maker came out, we got together with a friend and we made Pixelman. That was the game we started with, and I don't know, I loved it. I thought it was like that, like Jason said, it's like it doesn't feel like work, and it feels wrong, but it's what I like to do.
It feels wrong, but I like to do it. That's their tagline now.
Yeah, it's like both our families are German, so it's like for my family, it's like a job where you're like in an office and you have to wear like a suit and do a bunch of things, and that they still don't believe that I work. Actually, they're like, what are you doing all day on the computer? No, I'm working. No, what? No, you have to go to a place to work. You cannot be working.
There's not a lot of German stand-up comics, are there?
No, I think not.
Oh, that's incredible. Yeah, like in today's environment, like it's more common to have, you're working from your house or from wherever, but it's still like even me mentally when I work from home, I'm like, what am I doing? Someone's going to think I'm missing. How is this going to work? They don't believe me, but it's so many people are remote. That's great. And
Steven's been struggling with that lately. He's having to currently just now. I heard himself talking himself into staying home to work.
It's a good time. It's a good time. Do you guys ever have to deal with distraction when you're your own boss, like and actually getting things done, or are you guys pretty good at motivating yourselves?
I have a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, so don't even get me started.
So distracted. Yeah, got it.
Yeah. Honestly, they were a big part of the reason why I wanted to work from home.
Aww.
I don't know. You guys don't have kids yet, I'm thinking, but Ashley soon, maybe? Soon?
Don't tempt her.
Didn't you just get married?
Yes.
When's the big announcement?
God.
She can't have children. We're just
You're the one who made the bees. I understand this now.
Kids are, you know what? You will never regret it. You have kids.
She has a wonderful nephew in my son who's 3.5. So I'm feeling where you're at on the wanting to stay from home because it's fun to experience.
Oh, you do have kids.
Yes,
that's great.
Yes, Steven has.
I have a kid.
Steven has my best friend.
You have a kid.
Ashley's playmate.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about your kids, but mine when they were like 2 or 3-ish, like I'd say like 2-ish, I would leave to work for the day, and they'd like grab onto your legs like, you know, like cartoon cat time to take a bath style. You know, they'd like grab onto your legs. Please don't go. Don't, just stay home a little longer. They'd be crying. It was heartbreaking. And then you got to go to work and sit there and focus on whatever you're supposed to focus on in your cubicle for 9 hours. And at the end of the day, you come home. And, it was awful. Yeah, I really hated that. They were half the reason I just wanted to work from home.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely, I'm feeling where you're coming from there because I do enjoy being home and getting to see him, you know, and he's at an age where he can entertain himself a lot. So it's a lot less. It's a lot less just constantly on me. It's like, Daddy's working. He's like, okay, I'm going to go play with Play-Doh.
Yeah, mine are getting there too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. You're like, I don't need you. You're like, but you have to need me a little. That's the thing. Yeah. So were both of you guys?
You give him Play-Doh. You let him play in a room for 10 hours, and then you come back and everything is fine.
Oh,
right?
yeah, of course. Everything's great.
Me or your kids?
There's no mess.
We're talking about you and my kid. If I leave you guys alone together, it's a disaster. So, were you guys both working, like, I want to say, quote unquote, real jobs when you started Tanzia and then kind of shifted to full time? Are you both still working, real jobs, or are you full 100% into Tanzia and building that every day?
Play.
Yeah.
No, we're both full time on Tanzia every day.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good. Congratulations on being able to do that. That's huge.
Oh, we didn't say anything about being able to.
See, there's the next trick. Kids, if you're listening, the game developers, it's tough decisions. It's sacrifices, man.
We're getting there. We're trying.
Oh, that's great. Well, it's looking really good on the Switch. So, like, hey, anybody out there that hasn't played it yet, you should pick it up, myself included, because I watched Ashley stream it. I'm like, I need to play this.
If you could tell about 500,000 of your friends, we'd really appreciate it. Like family, like close friends. Just spread the word a little bit.
Definitely.
Huge help to us.
I don't even remember how I found out about you guys. Like I'm trying to remember how I met you. I know it was through Twitter, but I don't.
I think I sent you a tweet.
Okay.
At DM one day.
Okay, that makes sense because I'm just like a cat in the wind and I meet people.
Yes,
that's a terrible analogy.
Yeah.
I think that was like more than a year ago, right?
Oh yeah,
maybe even 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, because we were Jacob and I were still in the old place. We hadn't bought the house yet, so because that was when I had the nice little green curtain behind me, and I looked like my head was in Tanzia World.
Oh, I think I remembered that. That was cool.
Yeah, you were a pro. You were a daily streamer back then.
I just remember the Emery. Am I saying that right? Emery, the village that I remember you guys were watching while I was streaming, and it was like watching your kid, right? You let me fail a few times before giving me a hint, and then it was so satisfying to go in and just devastate all of them and take their little pouches of gold and be like, take that, jerks. And then there were the bees.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you liked the bees. I remember that.
That was
distinctly.
Hardcore bee phobia. Like I have chill bumps now just thinking about it. But the buzzing in my ears was so realistic that I kind of feel like I want to puke thinking about it now.
It's funny, yeah, that you're not the first person who's mentioned the bees creeped them out. Something about the buzzing or something. I don't know. I think it's sound. The sound of the bees. Yeah.
And the way they fly with their stinger is just like, I am going to poke a hole through your head and you're going to have lots of fun and die. A little scary. You talk about kittens now.
So speaking, I actually have this question. Speaking of Twitch streamers, like it's a fairly recent development that you can watch somebody play your game right out of the gate and see what they think. Is that fun for you or intimidating?
It depends who's playing.
Yeah.
So if you've got like if it's a sarcastic dude sitting there who's like, I want to hate everything today, it's a little bit more intense.
Oh, is it sarcastic? Is that what we're calling it? We're going to be nice and call it sarcastic.
Yeah, I try not to alienate anyone.
Yeah, there are some people who just, I think they feel that to be a good critic, you have to be critical, you know, and there's other people who are super positive, and I don't know that you get anything useful out of either one, honestly. But the super positive people make you feel better, I got to say.
I told you I hated the bees. That was critical.
That's why we've left them in this long.
It was all for you. I guess it got an emotion out of you, which is the goal, right?
Where I curled up on the floor and cried.
Yeah, I wanted you to feel that way.
Nailed it. Yeah, that's the moment.
We're keeping that monster forever.
That's the one.
Yeah.
We almost replaced the Skeleton King with the Bee King after that.
I'm waiting for that expansion to the game. The Bee King.
Tanzia Nightmare World. Where it's just the spiders and the bees.
So how did you guys actually meet?
Matias has written some articles on game dev, indie game dev. If you Google his name, you'll probably find some of them. And when I was pretty early on, I was looking into like social media management, you know, and like how to reach out to YouTubers and folks like Ashley, actually, and get them to play the game. And there was an article that Matias had written on, I don't know, on one of the like game dev, you know, sites, and the Gama Sutra or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think that was it.
That right now.
Yeah, and I contacted him, and you know, I started asking him questions like, how do I do this? How do I do that? And then, you know, I think after a while, he just like got sick of answering all my questions. Like, dude, just let me do it.
just hire me.
Give me money and I'll fix it for you.
No, that's pretty good. I'm glad you mentioned Gama Sutra, because I was researching both of you. I'm trying to make that sound as creepy as I possibly can. But, you know, to prepare. And
Predator.gov.
Right.
Matias and Jason are on here. Crazy.
This is great. No, so in Googling for Matias, I found his blog post about the streamers and YouTubers, and you had a very fantastic warning about getting fished.
Yeah.
How did that actually affect the way you promoted going forward? And if you want to explain a little bit about what happened, that would be great too for people listening.
Yeah, well, I started getting like emails from people saying, "Hey, I'm this German YouTuber, and I have 1 million subscribers, and I want to play your game. Give me a key." And at first I was like, "Oh, wow, this is amazing!" It was 3 years ago, and this is incredible. Here's a key. And then I was looking at their channels and everything, and they didn't have any kind of contact information or anything. So I started to send DMs to people and try to contact them some way, and I found out that I don't know, 9 out of 10 of those requests were all fake. So I started to change everything. Every request I get, I try to either get the real email or to contact them on Twitter, on their Twitch channels, or YouTube itself with the DMs you can send there, or anything. I don't send any kind of key to anyone that I cannot verify. So I had to do, it's super time consuming, because otherwise you just send the keys, but I have to check on every single person that is, because I know that most people are just trying to get a key for free, right?
Yeah.
That's shocking. Like, I would have never, like, why would you do that?
On launch day, we can get, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 fake requests for keys.
Holy crap.
Maybe every single day. And I have to check them all.
That's amazing. Like I
People
just
are a-holes.
yeah, it's really shocking because you said that, and it really takes the wind out of your sails when it comes to being excited about your game, and then you find out, oh well, all these people are just fake. You know, but I'm impressed not only that you pushed through that and made a new system, but that you shared it with the rest of the community to let them know.
Yeah.
I want them to know. I want them to I want people to just not give keys to anyone, and so for these fake accounts to stop. I think it's not that many people. It's just like, I don't know, maybe 100 guys sending different emails from different accounts telling you the same thing. So it's not that many people doing it, but I know because I see similar things on the emails and everything. So I know that they're the same person. But maybe I think that what they do is they sell the keys if they get more. They sell them on those websites where you can. I don't remember the names now, but there are a bunch of websites where you can sell the keys for the Switch and for Steam and everything. So I think they keep one and sell the rest.
That's so jacked. I was about to ask what would they do with multiple keys, but that's like who would sit around and go, you know what I'm gonna do today?
Yeah,
because steal from people and make money off of their hard work.
Yeah. I mean, there are people that sit around and say that's what I'm going to do with my life is steal from folks. It's just to me, it's so much more painful when it's an indie dev because like we already know. Like, I mean, a lot of people have watched Indie Game the movie. I don't know if you remember or have seen it, but it was the documenting the Team Meat guys and Phil Fish, who made Fez. So Super Meat Boy and Fez kind of followed those two developers and like one other guy. I think it's a dude that made Braid. But just the pain and anguish that goes into indie development. So speaking of pain and setbacks and frustrations, did you guys have any of that building Tanzia, or has it been a labor of love and you've enjoyed it, the vast majority of the time?
Are you guys familiar with the Nintendo Switch?
I love that little console. I've actually streamed several games on the Switch. It's great. Now tell me how you feel.
We both love it too, actually. As a consumer, I'm really excited about the Switch. I haven't been excited about a home console in, I don't know, forever. I mean, since I was in college or something. And the Switch is just amazing. I mean, the lineup of Switch games just looks so cool. I'm like, Pokemon, let's go. Like, what am I going to do with all these games? I don't have enough time to play them all. The new Mega Man and Dragon Quest. But as a developer, its Switch has been rough.
It delayed you from
it delayed us a lot.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
we were kind of surprised to get approved, and they approved us like immediately. It was like, so that we ended up talking to one of the executives first, and he kind of screened the game and said, I have some concerns, but I like what I see, and send us like a full like proposal kind of a thing, and so we put together this doc, and it was time consuming, I mean, it's Nintendo. Like, I spent a week just trying to make the game look as good as possible in this pitch doc, basically, and I sent it to them, and they approved it. Like, it was like 24 hours or something. They're like, yeah, we really like it, and I mean, it was really geared at Nintendo, the pitch doc, so we we're it's like, cool, we're Nintendo devs. What are we gonna do? And back then, I mean, all the indie news was all that indie games are just going nuts on the Switch. People are like, I released my game on Switch and made $1 billion. And I mean, it was like gold rush, right? So and Steam the news for Steam was the opposite. People were releasing their game and saying, I released my game and nothing happened, basically. And so I mean, we saw that, and we made the decision to let's focus on Switch. Let's get a Switch build as soon as possible. And it took months just to get a dev kit. Back then, this was middle of last year, and it was really hard to buy a Switch in the store. Like, they didn't have enough hardware like Nintendo style, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
It's pretty typical.
yeah, but you wouldn't think as a dev, it was the same for devs. You couldn't get a dev kit either. So we after a couple months, we finally got a dev kit, and it took several more months to optimize the game for Switch because it's a lot smaller. The hardware for the PC is so overpowered for Tanzia that I had cut a lot of corners. I'm just gonna come out and say it. But so yeah, it was months of optimization and porting, and then when we thought we were done towards the end of the year, we realized that we weren't done at all, and we had to. That began like months of QA and iteration, where we thought the game was done, and then you play it, and you go, what if I do this, that, and the other thing, and I do it all out of order, and it's like, oh, well, then your game explodes or whatever.
Gosh.
So yeah, it's just like crazy stuff that you just never anticipate. Like Matias sending me these bugs. Like if I climb on this thing and then I hold this button and I jump off that thing, then the screen turns green or whatever. I'm like, why are you climbing on that thing, holding this button and jumping off that thing in the first place?
He's good QA.
That's not,
man.
you're just playing the game wrong.
Because 8-year-olds.
That's what you need. You need the team of QE people to just run into the same wall 75 times, but doing barrel rolls.
Yeah, the 76th time I passed through the wall. Yeah. Like,
all the beams.
why didn't you stop after like 3 times?
Yeah.
So that's what Matias did for several months, and every day he would send me new bugs, and every day I would fix them, send them back. He'd send me 10 bugs. I'd send all 10 back, say, okay, these are fixed, and he'd send 9 back again and say, no, these ones aren't fixed. And it's just these 9 are not fixed, and I found a new one. And it's like, oh shoot, I'm back to 10 again.
Surprise!
Yeah. So it took way longer than we thought to get it on the Switch, and honestly, like it wasn't all just QA and bug fixing. Like there was a lot of like polish in there, and just iteration that will, I think, greatly benefit all versions in the future. So, and the optimization too is gonna make it so we can probably release on tablets if we want to at this point.
Ooh.
Cool.
Yeah. So, we run at 60 frames a second on the Nintendo Switch, which is like the QA guys at Nintendo. You have to do this final QA. They call it lot check with them. They have this lot check process, and their lot check guys were like, wow, this thing's running at 60 frames a second. Like we're not seeing a lot of 3D games running at 60 frames a second. We were really impressed with the performance. And so that's cool. It wasn't months of wasted time, but
I feel like you sat back in your chair and went, damn, Skippy.
Yeah, for a few seconds, yeah. And then I realized I still had a whole bunch of bugs to fix.
That had to feel pretty cool, though, like emailing Nintendo or sending Nintendo your game. Like, Nintendo. Like, they are games.
That's massive.
Well, yeah, for sure. Like, Matias said, like, it was, we're both huge Nintendo fans, and since childhood, yeah, like you said, it's Nintendo. What else is there to say? It's Nintendo.
It's like your heroes, man. They're
absolutely
crazy. No, that's super cool, and that actually sheds a lot of light on some of the things. Was there ever a point, like, when you were developing it that you just straight up wanted to put it down and go, I'm never coming back to this. I'm
Set it
done.
on fire.
Never in earnest. I've had that feeling many times. But,
yeah.
Yeah, just about a half an hour ago when this interview started, actually. No, I'm just kidding.
If I have to keep talking to people like this, I'm quitting tomorrow.
No, actually,
kept bothering me.
This is one of the more fun things we get to do, actually.
Yeah, you get to talk about it. To people who already like you.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Exactly.
Well, we did until that comment.
I know, right? that is bad. Oh man, Matias is over there going like, "How am I supposed to do the PR if you keep scaring people off?"
So. What is the approach for PR, Matias, when you're looking at an indie game and you're literally starting from ground zero in a lot of cases? Like, how do you get traction?
Keep chasing away from a microphone, right?
Yeah, sometimes. No, you just have to speak to everyone, to just talk to everyone. You have to find when I saw that the people were trying to scam us with keys.
Yeah.
I just went ahead and spoke to people directly. I went to people instead of waiting for them to talk to me. I started to look for channels, for YouTube channels and Twitch channels and everything. That's how I found Smashy. I went to her channel, I saw it, I found her email and contacted her. And that's the thing. You have to talk to everyone. If you don't have a budget, you just have to talk to people and try to get them to play the game and to talk about the game and everything you can for no money.
So you just run out there and start shaking hands and hope.
Yeah,
holding babies.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, shaking babies and kissing hands, trying to make it happen.
I feel like that's like one step away from going, I'm a professional stalker. I teach class on Tuesdays. Real good at it.
No, that's really cool though, and it seems to have worked because you found a lot of cool people. And I mean, there had to be like, was there a certain ratio of people where you're like, you tell them about the game and they think, okay, this looks cool, versus like that one person that you tell them about the game, they're like, this is awesome, I'm gonna stream it, and now I'm gonna tell people about it. Like, is there a level of person you're after? Like, I need that engaged human.
Well, you never know when you talk to people. You never know what you're gonna get. Some people get super excited, especially the small streamers. When you talk to a person with 100,000 followers or 1 million followers, they don't care. They're like, just give me the game and I might play it. I don't care.
Oh my God.
Celebrities.
But when you talk to someone with,
add it to my pile of games
followers, that is like, what? You're talking to me? You're a developer and you're talking to me? What? And then they get super happy and they want to play it and they want to support it. So we try to start from the bottom and try to go up from there. But
did you just insult me live on my own podcast?
No, I was
No. I don't say that's a bad thing. We love the small streamers. We had more fun watching some streams with 2 people watching it than some streams with 1,000 people. Some guys, you're fun to watch, and some people are just not fun at all. You just watch.
Smashies was one of our favorites. She's not one of the biggest ones. I mean, she's a relatively small stream, but it was definitely one of our favorites. And I'd say all of our favorites were smaller streamers.
Yeah. And to be fair, like when I look for streamers, that's what I'm looking for as far as community goes, because the engagement level's higher.
Yeah.
The weird thing is that like some of the biggest streamers are like, yeah, this guy's not nearly as entertaining as Smashy or Capital Vices or whoever. Some of our favorite streamers. Like how does this guy have like 200,000 views per video? And it's crazy.
Right.
Who are some of your favorite people that you've enjoyed engaging with, stream wise?
So there's a stream called there's a guy called Taylor at Capital Vices is what his I think he's on Twitch. He's a CVT TV, and that guy is awesome. Taylor is so good. He looks so professional. It's crazy. He got this big crazy mic boom, and he's got the blue screen going like you used to have. Where he it's so good. And then Arbitrarium. Have you heard of Arbitrarium?
Yeah.
I haven't, but I'm writing these down because I'm always like, I sit on a computer all day at work. So I put on somebody to listen to, and it's a lot of times it's a guy with 17,000 viewers, but he's super positive and great, but like no engagement really because his community is so huge. So I'm always looking for these smaller ones. So I am writing these down, and I'm unashamedly doing so.
Yeah, it's like Arbitrarium. She's got a website called A Girl with a Pretty Keyboard, I think is what
I think that's it.
And she's so pro, it's crazy. Like we give her a key, and next thing you know, she's doing these like full walkthroughs, level by level, and they're like so professional looking. She's like, and here we are in the village, and it's so good. I mean, it's good. Like I said, there's some of the smaller streamers. It's just amazing. You're going like, how do they have a smaller following than that boring guy? But Smashy was one of the favorites more because she's just like random and super entertaining.
Yeah,
that's how I define her as well.
Taylor was like just super pro and like I don't know. He's got such a good he's got a radio voice. He's Arbitrarium is like Arbitrarium's kind of not super goofy, not super funny, but like entertaining just because she's so I don't know. You gotta watch them. I would take a look at those three. If you've never seen Smashy, she's good too. Go ahead and write that one.
If we can get her to stream, she tried today.
I wanted to stream Tanzia earlier today, but Jacob was at work, and I texted him like, so the computer won't come on. He's like, don't touch it. Don't look at it. I'll fix it when I get home. We
don't let Ashley touch mechanical or technical things in the house because every time she breathes on them, they explode. So.
And then he comes in, he's like, yeah, it was the motherboard. And I'm like, wait, how do I fix that? It was just like, click, click.
She's like the main character from the Dresden Files.
Yes. Yeah. I used to watch that on SciFi before SciFi changed their name to SciFi.
SciFi.
I was so annoyed. I'm like, 25 and yelling about change because 25-year-olds.
I remember when Sci-Fi was Sci-Fi.
Sci-Fi. I don't watch cable now, but
I remember when MTV used to play music videos.
Oh, jeez. I do remember that. It was great.
That Ariana Grande person with the hair and
Ariana Rio Grande, whatever her name is.
When I was a kid, MTV was all music videos, like 24/7.
We've definitely gone downhill, that's for sure.
I always assume people are my age because I think that's just what people do.
Yeah, on the internet, everybody's your age by default.
You sound like mine and Steven's age. And I really want to say, hey, how old are you? But I was told that that's rude.
I've been 29 for 11 years. So.
That sounds good.
Not a problem.
You're like younger than me.
Once you pass kind you're basically the same age as everybody until you turn 60, right?
Like, I think that's right.
You're all kind of... I've worked with people in large spans of age, but we all address each other as if we're the same. There's really no difference. I'm at an age now where you're either... I look at you, I'm like, you're either somewhere between 25 or 70. Not really sure.
I feel like that's a fairly... Like, if you're going to talk politics to somebody in that age range, you're going to get very different answers.
So to pivot away from that as quickly as we can... So Tanzia has a huge, it seems to me to be a huge influence from Warcraft, at least from an interface perspective. Was that like a big design decision for you when you started working on it? Or did you just, were you a WoW player, I guess is a good question.
Yeah, so I actually EverQuest was my first MMO.
That's right. You said that at the beginning. And I'm just...
Yeah, I was heavily into EverQuest. That probably largely factored into my decision to leave school.
Good move.
Yeah,
well,
I was like, yeah,
he was failing his classes.
I was not. That is a lie. You've been spreading that lie. No, I was actually doing pretty okay. I just really hated it, and I think EverQuest helped me find what I wanted to do.
I feel like that needs to be one of those motivational posters, like on the black with the white text. EQ helped me find myself.
Oh, yeah.
Can that be a thing?
Yeah, you could have like a picture of like an overweight middle-aged guy, like with like just food all over his shirt.
Cheeto dust.
Yes, Cheeto dust. There you go.
It's that dude from the WoW episode of South Park with
God, yes.
That's right.
That's the guy. That's what you want. No, that's super cool.
I mean, I wanted to build worlds. Like EverQuest made me realize, like, I want to build worlds. That's what I wanted to do.
How did you come up with the crab quest? Like, how did the quests evolve?
Are you saying how did I come up with the crab quest? Like in a.
Uh-oh, where did he go? Did I lose everybody? Shoot, hold on. That's not what I wanted. Boop-a-doop-boop-boo.
Punch in the face.
I lost everybody for a minute. I'm sorry, you guys.
Oh, no, that's fine.
I had
about crabs.
No idea what happened, so I missed the crab conversation. Let me go back here. Hold on a second.
The crab
Did my
quest,
net skizzle out?
No, it was me. I was going to play some footage from the game in the background. And then,
like, are you saying how did I come up with?
Okay, you're gonna have to tell the Crab Quest story one more time. I'm really sorry. We're so professional. I was gonna play some footage from the game, and it was just like, no.
No one can ever talk about crabs too often.
It broke everything. All right, two seconds. I'll get us all back here. Oh man. All right.
Can anyone sing? Does anybody have a musical talent?
I'm not gonna try to do that again. That's for sure. All right, hold on. No, this is all live because I'm awesome and I know how to work computers.
We're super good.
Sole mio.
Yes!
Excellent. Please do that. That's
okay.
perfect.
That's my favorite.
All right. Boop. 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 Okay. I got Smash back on the thing.
Hello, Stephen.
Okay. Here we go. All right. Crab story, and we're back. Technical difficulties, but here we are. So crabs.
And crabs. I was asking the guys how they well, Jason, I guess, how did the quests kind of evolve? Like, how did that story evolve? Was it like Steven does and you sit down and you plot out everything very organized, or was it la 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 crabs action?
I don't know. I think it was very iterative, like the first thing that I focused on was the environments. I wanted the game to have this feel where you kind of like miss the environments when you log out, like this. I wanted it to be good for exploration. When you get into a new area, like it's cool just to see the lagoon for the first time,
Yes.
And that's part of why some people criticize the music. A lot of people get it, but we've gotten some criticism for
music.
Well, a couple of people actually said like, "Oh, the music is awful and cheesy." Those people are just like total outliers. Okay, that's just a handful of people. Literally, almost everybody I think unanimously loves the music, except for like the first 3 reviewers on Metacritic for some insane reason. Which is, I don't know what that's about. But some people have criticized though that there's not more of it. That it just, so the music just plays when you hit a new area, and that that was on purpose. It's supposed to help define the feel of that area. So when you first get to the like Turtle Beach, and the music that plays there is supposed to be very beachy and like adventure-y. Like you've discovered this new area, and it's like, wow, there's up until that point, your view is really confined because you're kind of in this little jungle valley. And when you get to Turtle Beach for the first time, it opens up and you can see the horizon, and your view isn't confined anymore. And the music is supposed to match that. And the music kind of says like, my view is no longer confined, constrained. Yeah, I can see the horizon. I don't know how to word that better, but the music is supposed to fit that feeling. So I started just building these environments that were, supposed to give you strong feels. I don't know how else to say it.
I mean, I feel like you kind of just blew my mind because I never realized what was going on with the music.
Yeah, every time you reach a new area, it's supposed to help lend to the feel of that area. Yeah. The lagoon too. I think the lagoon is another good spot because it's supposed to feel like this secret pocket. This like secret, really like kind
mystical
of
PETA.
Yeah, like mystical, magical area that you've found, with like a glowy blue water and like water elementals floating around, and
bees.
The music kind of says you've found this secret place. That's super cool. So from there, I mean, like once the environments were in place, then I kind of started thinking about like, well, what can I do for quests, that suits these environments. So it was really iterative. Things just got built on. I mean, even the music, like I didn't know, I had an idea of what I wanted the lagoon to look like and how I wanted it to feel, but I didn't know until I actually built it what the music was going to be, because once you build it and see it, you go, this track right here is what I need, for it. This is how, I don't know, everything just kind of comes together. It's very iterative. It builds on top of itself.
I was wondering about that is because Steven is when Steven does something, he has an outline for his brain. And then there's some people that just kind of go, I imagine the color blue and I'm going to go from there.
Well, It was both, you know. So I had a really strong plan. I had a really strong game design, you know, planned out. But game development, in my experience, is like this. The plan that you start with and the game that you ship are rarely, you know, the same thing, because it's so iterative. You plan it out, you implement that, and it's like, yeah, you know what? That looked really cool on paper, and it's really not that fun on the computer. And then you iterate, you know, you go, you know what would make it fun though is if we added this other element that I didn't think of when I was staring at it on pencil and paper. And you add that element, and it's like, that's cool, but you know what it needs now? That element really needs this other one to complement. It just keeps building, and it's, like I said, it's really, game development is really iterative. And that's I think that's one of the reasons that you have game companies constantly, you know, it'll be ready in September, and then they go, okay, September's here, what's going on? Oh, nothing, probably December would be better. And like, you know, companies like Blizzard, they say, what's the ship date? And they say that it'll be done when it's done. You know, those are the
I like when they do that.
Which out of those two approaches, which one do you guys appreciate more? The it's going to be out in September. Oh wait, January, or do you like the Blizzard? Everything's in the dark until we say so.
I don't know. I mean, I guess there's got to be a happy medium, I guess. Huh?
Yeah. I just wondered. Like for me, I kind of prefer the Blizzard method of, hey, it's going to be out in 4 months. You're like, oh great, versus like.
Not having your hopes dashed.
Yeah, I don't know how many games I've been excited for that's been like, 8 months from now. How about that?
I think the reason I think is that traditionally you have the developer is beholden to some AAA publisher who's paying their bills and their salary, and they, you know, they're going like, hey, you know, instead of the developer saying like, we're going to be done about this time, like the AAA publisher says, you're going to be done about October 1st, you know, and then, and then the developer doesn't say like, that's not possible. They say like, sounds great.
Yeah. They adjust their milestones and they go, okay, we can
cut whatever corners.
Yeah. And then they have their people working 18-hour days for weeks.
That's exactly right. Yep. I've got a story about that. Oh man!
If you want to tell it, now's the time.
Yes,
please. So I mean, I used to work. I used to work for a company that made a pretty large MMO. I won't say the name. They had a producer on that title, who was fairly famous to people who played that game, and the story goes that the associate producer, the main producer, had the associate producer go and put a schedule together. The executives had basically said like, okay, this expansion cycle needs to be 3 months. So 3 months from now, we expect it to ship. And the associate producer guy went and got estimates from all the leads and put it all in a schedule and like timeline spreadsheet kind of thing, and brought it to the producer guy, and the producer said, oh, well, this is 5 months or whatever. You know, we don't have 5 months, we have 3 months. He said, well, yeah, you know, what do you want me to do? And he said, all right, well, like, did you factor in the crunch time? And he says, factor in the crunch time? What do you mean? That's supposed to be like for emergencies, you know? And that's when we overestimate or underestimate the time it's going to take. No, that's it. Just factor in crunch time. Just like add 40% more hours or something to the schedule.
Gravy.
See how it works out then. And so he did that, and then it came out to like 3.5 months or 3 3/4 months or something like that. It was still over budget basically. And he said, all right, well, I did that. We're still a little bit over. And he goes, okay, well, what do you want me to do? He says, okay, just that's fine. Just reduce the estimates that all the leads gave you on all the tasks. Just reduce them by the exact proportion so that it all fits into exactly 3 months.
Oh my God.
It's like, well, what do you want me to tell them? Well, you don't got to tell them anything. Just do it.
Holy crap, man.
And that's how they arrived at their perfectly planned schedule for that particular expansion.
And that's when all the employees died.
Quit. Yeah.
Okay, quit is a little bit softer, but yeah.
Well, that particular expansion, I think most fans of that MMO, which I'm not going to say the name of.
Of course not.
Would I mean, I've worked on a lot of large MMOs. You know, if you look at my resume, it could be any one of them.
Right.
Dun, dun, dun.
Arguably, that particular expansion was really when that game started to go downhill. And
Yeah.
I think World of Warcraft came out around the same time or shortly after.
Mm-hmm.
I think that those two things really kind of put the former leader, you know, kind of in the toilet and put World of Warcraft on top very quickly.
Yeah. WoW
what
was
happened.
just a juggernaut, man. Like the
They
fantasy,
are, yeah.
like I know you said you're a fan. You love building worlds. Like as far as world building, Blizzard has done an incredible job of crafting something pretty amazing, and it's been real hard to take down. I don't know if it ever will be. I mean, I'm sure its time will come, but it'll probably be another Blizzard property taking it down. It's like, what's gonna defeat Windows XP? I don't know. It's a juggernaut.
Windows 7.
Windows 7, that'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I mean
Windows.
Warcraft. Like I could just explore Warcraft for.
Yeah.
It's so good. It just. I don't even. You know, literally, you can just walk around and explore and have fun. Like the first time I got to some of the areas playing that game, you know, the first time you reach some of the zones, just like single tier. You know, it's so beautiful.
Yeah,
Another professional photo.
I'm there, man. Like at any time, like, and that's one of the things I love about games like yours is you have environments to explore. There are things to see. There are little crevices and
Colors. The colors. I think I wax poetic about this every time I play the game, but the colors in Tanzia, like you said, every area's got like a very specific feel, and now I realize some of that's the music, but some of it's just the color scheme that you use in it. I don't know what it is. It just makes me feel like squishy when I go into some areas and makes me feel, you know, homicidal when I walk into a village.
There was a fellow who played the game on YouTube. He said, I love the look of this. I like my games to look like games.
yeah, that's
Like it's kind of like it's like bubbly, and I don't possess the vocabulary to do what I'm doing, and I've had a glass of wine, so it's even worse.
It's like you're a 6-year-old and you see the colorful pictures on the box as you're just unwrapping the wrapping paper, right? And
Yes!
you don't know what it is, but you know it's fun.
yeah.
It's like the JCPenney catalog when you were little and you were circling all the toys you want.
Yeah, right. You're circling all the brightly colored ones, and I don't know what this does, but sure looks cool.
You know, the turtles killed me. I didn't know what they did.
Yeah, sorry, I made them really brightly colored. I really maybe shouldn't have. Apologize.
No, but I think that's one thing, man. When you're making a game is to chase the fun, right? Like it can be as gorgeous as you want it to be, but if it's not fun, you lose. So you definitely, you know, knocked it out of the park from everything I've read. Again, I haven't played it because I'm a bad person who.
You've watched me play.
I've watched you play it though, yeah, and it looks super awesome. And
there's a French article that when I translated it from French, and it referred to the graphics as retina burning.
And you're like, oh, good.
I don't know how well that translated, but
yeah, retina burning.
Exactly what you were going for, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Much worse in the original French.
That's you secretly they have a deal with every optometrist in the world. You're welcome.
Retina burning. I would take that as a compliment. Yes, it is very bright and beautiful. Burnt my retinas. No, that's fantastic, man. Well, I know we've been on for about an hour. I didn't want to keep you guys too long, but this has been a wonderful conversation. Thank you for letting us into your world. I'm actually going to ask you a couple questions that came in from the chat. We're just going to take the top. Let's do the top 2 here. That came in if you don't mind. Yeah. What were some bit? They shifted as soon as I started to ask the first one. Who voted at the very end? You guys, come on. What were some big speed bumps you had during development? Just like if you have a couple.
I don't know, Matias.
Making the game.
Well, that quest you like, the crab quest, that one was horrible to make because everything broke about it. Every single time we thought it was fixed, something else was broken. The crabs were going everywhere. They will disappear. They will go inside the rocks. They will go into the sea. They will just go away. They won't follow you. And we have to remake that quest, I don't know, maybe 10 times. I don't know. Maybe it's broken now. I don't know. But that was like that quest that took us way longer than it was supposed to.
I call that the duck goose quest because I go and tag all the crabs and then run like a mofo.
That's awesome. Yeah,
that's the way to do it.
That's a good strategy.
To do it, yeah. No, the crab whistle is garbage.
And that's what I remember the first time I played it, I was using the whistle, and I feel like you guys were watching me like Jesus watches his followers going, oh, silly things.
No, we just laugh at people who use the whistle the first time. We laugh and laugh. It's like so awesome. We told him to use the whistle, and he's using the whistle. Fucker.
This is hilarious. We told them the instructions, and they followed them.
The instructions we gave him, that's right. Yeah.
Weirdos.
Also
the boat. The boat broke a few times too. We have to fix it because people will fall from. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
I can't speak anymore. It's too late here. People will fall from it, so we have to like rebuild the invisible walls and everything just for people not to fall, and people will find ways to break everything. So
if you fall off the boat, you are not in Tanzia anymore. You're like,
yeah.
You're not in the game anymore. You're like you don't exist.
I love that we're listing out things for people to try. As soon as they buy the game, get off the boat. Just go into the other world. It's going to be great.
One of my favorite things to do when I realized that I could do it was go aggro all the bees and then run into the fun little bubble and then have them all. Just like, I can kill them all.
There's a lot of stuff like that where we tried to come up with stuff like that on a regular basis. Like the Crabs quest was, like we're going to tell them to use this stupid whistle and see if they figure out that they can do it way faster by just hitting all the crabs and running. And the bubble in the lagoon is like, let's see if anybody figures out that they can just smash stuff into this bubble.
It was beautiful.
That's awesome. I love that you put that stuff in there. Like, there's more than one way. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
You reward creative people. That's so cool.
It's funny that guy I was telling you about, Capital Vice's
Taylor.
He would find them all immediately. Apparently, he was a big EverQuest player, and he was telling me like some of the stuff that he did in EverQuest, and he was the same kind of player as me. He just looked for like the super exploity, crazy things to like ways to break it that the designers never anticipated. And
smart people.
he would find all the exploits in Tanzia like immediately. He was playing really early, so like the game was still in development, and we'd add new level, and he would go in and like immediately be pulling everything in the zone and like killing them all with some exploit. That was fun.
Oh, I bet that was so cool to watch. You're like, please look at this guy breaking our game, but kind of in the way we intended.
I don't remember if Ashley ever combined. You ever combine Mako's Rage, the potion,
and then
with Fire Totem?
So I remember I slowed down. I did 3 potions at once. I slowed down time. I think I increased like how fast I could cast, and I did one other thing to beat one of the guys in the village.
Yeah, you probably did do then. Mako's Rage plus Fire Totem is all you really need. You can throw haste in there, the time slowing potion in there too if you want. But
I had died 50 times at that point, so I just kind of
shotgun.
That Taylor from Capital Vices pulls the whole village and kills everything without slowing time, without totems. It's crazy stuff.
Oh my god! How?
You just have to watch it. I'm telling you guys. He used to do mass kiting in EverQuest, which is what I designed the mechanic after, and he just knew exactly how to get in there and do it. It's on. If you go to his channel, he's actually got a highlight of that clip. But
I'm gonna have to have a conversation.
I'm going there.
But with Mako's Rage though, you can throw down like 20 or 30 totems, and then it's just like Armageddon. There's just fireballs everywhere, and anything that spawns immediately disintegrates.
That's so
cool.
It's
crazy because most people don't ever find that exploit unless you tell them about it explicitly. But like as the designer, it seems so obvious. It seems like everybody's gonna get this immediately.
Yep, it's
I'm
like
a bonehead, dude.
Yeah, it's like writing a murder mystery, man. Like you know who the killer is, and you're convinced like, oh, they're gonna totally see that breadcrumb, and they're not.
That's a perfect analogy. That's absolutely right. Yeah.
Yeah, they're never gonna guess it. You're gonna convince yourself like it's not buried enough. I have to hide it more. You can never hide it from yourself, right?
Exactly right.
Yeah.
The first time I gave the game to Matias, when we first started working together, I gave him to Matias, and he's like, "I don't get any of this," And I'm like, "It's so obvious. What are you talking about?"
Yeah. That's why it's hard to write instruction manuals or documentation, because you're like, you're looking at it from the perspective of somebody who already knows. So you really have to like dumb yourself down and be like, I don't know anything about this level, even though I built it.
Steven.
What did I say? No, you do.
Yeah, it's absolutely right. You're dropping all these obscure little hints and stuff, and people are going to get this right away. And people aren't getting your obscure little hints,
Yeah. That's like I recently read a blog post from Ron Gilbert, who actually quit playing Octopath Traveler. I don't know if you guys have had time to play it, but it's on the Switch, and he had to quit playing it because he was like, I got to a boss that just kills me left and right. I can't get past it, and I've given up because I don't have the time to die again and again and again and again. And discussing like the challenges of hint systems, because he was a big adventure game designer, and like how to make it so the things you think are obvious might not be obvious. So here's the little trick, and when to give those hints, So it's a lot. It sounds a lot like the same kind of idea.
It's a fine line. You just to find that line where you're not giving too much away.
Mm-hmm.
And yet it's not so obscure that nobody gets it. It's harder to find it than you think.
Yeah, you don't want the challenge to beat out the fun, I guess, is part of it. You play Dark Souls for challenge. You play some games just to have fun. And then some like Dark Souls can be in the middle if the challenge is the fun,
I play Raising Children for challenge.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing. As an adult gamer who's also a father, I don't have time to like God of War. I played it on normal, and I was like, I'm bumping this down to easy mode. Like, forget it. I just need the story, and I want to throw this axe around. And that was perfect.
This is why I haven't had children yet.
That was everything I ever wanted in my life. It's like,
Matthias, are you in the U.S. out of curiosity? You said it was late.
No, I'm in Chile.
Oh, international call. This is great.
Oh, yeah.
What time is it there out of curiosity?
11 p.m.
Oh my gosh. We need
you guys didn't know that this was long distance?
Well,
I know it's 10 cents a minute, guys.
The internet just makes that not matter anymore.
I remember when you had to pay for stuff like that. That was rough, man.
It's bad. So I have one last question from the audience I want to ask before we close down with you guys. What advice do you have for two dorks in a garage that are thinking about making a game? What would you tell someone?
Don't do it.
It's kind of the advice I expected for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Just get your accounting degree, get a job.
I don't think we could end on a better note than don't make games
a job
and get an accounting degree so you can work in a normal desk job. No, this is super good, man. I'm so thankful you guys were able to come on the show and hang out with us for a little while and talk about the game and just what you make in general, because these have been some really amazing stories.
Yay.
So we certainly appreciate it.
It's been a lot of fun talking to you guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for making time. You guys are fantastic, and I love both of you.
Yeah. Do you have anything you want to promote besides the game, or just want to tell people where they can find it?
I'll leave that to Matias.
Well, you can find the game on the eShop. You can search for Tanzia if you don't see the link. We have the link on our Twitter channel, and it's on Steam too, but it's on early access. So we're gonna finish it and let you know on our channel when it's done.
Awesome.
Yay.
Awesome. And you can go to playtanzia.com for more info on both those things, right? Cool. So you guys have been awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. I'll let you both have your evening back. You are great. And we'll talk to you another time.
Thank you so much.
Later, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
I have to hang up on everybody in order to get you guys off the phone, but thanks so much, man. We'll definitely reach out. I'm going to play the game. It's going to be great.
Cool.
All right. See you guys.
Bye.
All right. Call Ashley back. Ba-doop, boop, boop. There was two of me on the stream for a minute. Cool. So
I drank. Oh, I see a Stephanie in the background. She might not like that.
What? No, you do, but the people don't.
Oh, okay.
The people don't. I took care of it. I got the croppage.
Okay. I drank a whole bottle of wine, Steven.
Oh goodness! You want to do the outro for this shenanigans real quick?
It's real hot in here.
I know. So that, ladies and gentlemen, was Matias and Jason from Tanzia, Arcanity Inc. Again, that website's playtanzia.com if you want to check out the game. That was a super fun interview. I learned a lot about game development. Ashley, did you learn a lot about game development?
I'm just like still geeking out over Matias and his like kind of German-ish accent, like German Argentina. It was really cool.
It was fantastic. I had a great time talking with him. We've learned a lot. We've had a great time, but we're both hot. We both had some wine.
I'm a little tipsy.
Hey man, if you like this show, you're gonna like Horseshoes and Hand Grenades, which is a show you should also tune into from Two Dorks. But man, share this far and wide. CreatorCrush.com. You can find all the interviews and stuff there that we've done so far. I don't know that we have anybody to tell you that's coming up next week, but we will. And when
Jury agreed. He said he would go for it. I just need to confirm.
Oh, cool. All right. So
yeah.
if things work out, we'll have Justin Robert Young on the show, comedian, podcaster, super cool dude, political commentaryist. So that'll be a lot of fun. But man, until next time.
Yeah, let us know who you would like to see too. Hit us up and tell us the people you love and the people you want to talk to, and
yeah, do that. creatorcrush@gmail.com if you would like to email us. If you have any questions for our future guests, you can do that. Thank you guys, everybody who tuned in and asked questions. You guys are amazing. And with that, we will see you guys next time right here on Creator Crush.
bye.
And we're good.
Is hot.